Sorry? Farhad Hosdar, I've yet to see one, I'm also a chartered accountant. I've yet to see one chartered accountant, a practicing chartered accountant, mostly on trust side, who's so well versed. I don't think anyone can compare to Farhad Hosdar as an auditor, as a chartered accountant. He is brilliant. I've dealt with him for the last maybe 30 years. Farhad is brilliant. He knows his beans. He knows the accounts all and all the rules, regulations, etc. So Farhad Hosdar is being reappointed. Someone to please propose and someone please second. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I'm through. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I call on the individual chapter chairs and others to give their reports, I would once again earnestly request them all to please curtail your reports to just 3 minutes. We are already running late because of the technical hitch we had earlier. So please try and control the time limits that are given to you. Can I call upon Mr. Dara Patel, Chairman of the Mumbai chapter, to present his report, including the WE wing?
It's okay if I stand here because I don't want to be perceived looking down on people if I stand here. So thank you very much. It's going to be a challenge to give a report for the wonderful work we all did in the last 6 months in 3 minutes, but we'll try. So ever since we were given the responsibility of the Mumbai chapter, the team got into action. And we have a real solid team who works. Of course, we sleep till late and we don't sleep at 2 o'clock like bearers. But we have enjoyed our tenure. I'll just like to first acknowledge the presence of Pilu, Veera, Percy Kekobad. Am I missing anybody? No, I think because Burgess is not there. And Mercy is also not there. So very quickly, the WZCC Mumbai chapter began in January 25, and the first meeting was on Saturday, 11th January at Hotel Westend, and that marked the formal installation of the team at the hands of our global president, Captain Percy Master. And since he installed us in such a manner and impressed upon us what our duties are, what our responsibilities are, he never told us what our rights are. So we have been doing a wonderful job, and thank you for that, Captain. We had a wonderful keynote speaker, Rohan Oberoi. He's the CEO of Momentum India, and he spoke on a very interesting topic called risk mitigation. He delivered his keynote address through an excellent and comprehensive presentation, wherein he underscored the critical role of safety and the importance of a proactive approach to risk management in everyday life. The meeting was well attended and winded up with cocktails and dinner. There was excellent fellowship, bonhomie, and interaction. And as they say, well begun is half done. The second meeting was the Navroz Networking Night, which was held on Sunday, 16th March, in the air-conditioned hall of Albrechtburg. Around 100 plus members attended this event. The event was a fine blend of business, religion, and entertainment. The keynote speaker at the event was Edward Ramyar Karanjia. He spoke on the topic, Success in Business, a Zoroastrian Perspective. There was live music by Lyndon and Melanie, a versatile duo band. Everybody enjoyed the music and danced their hearts out. Thereafter, everyone partook in the excellent Parsi-style dinner provided by Tanaz Godiwala, and the event was a grand success and appreciated by one and all. The third meeting was organized on Saturday, 2nd August at 6:30 at Sunville Banquet a very good venue, a new venue where we have not had any function with WZCC. Around 80 plus members were present. This event was a fine blend of business, finance, and networking. Renowned Zoroastrian entrepreneur Kairas Dadachanji, the chairman of Dadachanji Group of Companies, was the chief guest and sponsor for the event. In his excellent address, he took us through the journey of success for the last more than 3 decades, and his talk was appreciated by one and all. The highlight of the meeting was the excellent, interesting, and informative panel discussion on startup to scale up strategies for growth. The panel discussion was an insightful journey into the heart of growing business and was very well received by the audience. The esteemed panelists were Delna Avari, founder of the Delna Avari and Consultants, Burzin Dubash, CEO of Ankur Capital, and Arpit Jain, Vice President, Avendus Capital. The session was very ably moderated by Havovi Patel. We will be having our next regular meeting with a well-known speaker and an excellent venue around end of October. I am thankful to the global president of our WZCC, Captain Percy Master, President India Region, Zerik Dastur, Global Director, Chapter Development and Membership, Viraf Debu, Honorary Secretary, WZCC International Board, Beros Daruwala, Honorary Treasurer, Jimmy Khan, for their valuable guidance and advice. And we are extremely excited to be involved and participate in the upcoming global convention in 2026 on the 7th, 8th, and 9th of January 2026 at the Taj President. More details will be given to you by our global president. Till then, God bless you. Take care and enjoy your membership with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Dara Patel. I now would request the Pune chapter chair, Mr. Farooq Bhatina, to please give his report.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Farooq Bhatina, the chapter chair for WZCC Pune, and I'll briefly take you through the activities which we have been doing for the last 8-9 months. So in November 2024, Pune chapter celebrated its 20th anniversary. Amongst much jubilation, we had about 75 guests and members participating. Our guest of honor was Dr. Nasli Ichapuria, a leading neurologist of Pune, who talked about how to keep the brain young. And this was a very well received talk because with the kind of feedback we got from the attendees was really amazing. The event also witnessed the installation of our new working committee, which was done at the hands of Viraf Debu. And some of our committee members are present here today. We have Yazdi Batliwala, who's on our committee, Benaz is here, Farida Debu is here, and Viraf, our mentor, is also here. We also took this opportunity, since this was the 20th anniversary of the chapter, to honor our past chapter chairs, Maruk Barucha, Viraf Debu, and Temas Barucha. Our founder chair, Mr. Adi Engineer, ex-managing director of Tata Power, was felicitated in absentia because he couldn't make it for the event, unfortunately, because of his ill health. We also took this opportunity to felicitate Pune's champion lady racer, Dinah Pandol, who's here today also. In addition to the dignitaries from India region and Mumbai who attended, we also had global directors and members from WZCC, USA, UAE, and Indore. Our global president, Captain Master, unfortunately could not attend the event, but he sent his message of appreciation, which was read out by Global Secretary Beros Daruwala, who we were fortunate to have with us that evening. On 15th of March 2025, the Pune chapter hosted a WE Members Night. The evening was meticulously curated by the WE wing, and it brought together members to celebrate networking, new beginnings, achievements, and inspiring journeys. The evening started with new members being asked to introduce themselves to the gathering. Then we had a member spotlight where two distinguished lady members shared their professional journeys, achievements, and contributions. Their engaging talks exemplified the strength, diversity, and resilience of the Pune chapter's community. We were very fortunate to have Captain Percy Master and his wife, Mrs. Erin Master, who specially traveled from Mumbai to grace the event, and their presence added both gravitas and warmth to the evening. Captain Master addressed the gathering and his speech emphasized timeless values of humanity, mentorship, and giving back to the community. He also highlighted the importance of nurturing young talent and spoke about the mentoring and internship initiative of WZCC, which Zerik Dastur also spoke about just now. He requested Pune chapter to reach out to individuals and corporates in Pune to participate in this initiative, and we are doing that, Captain. The keynote address of the evening was delivered by Ms. Sridevi Yadav, a remarkable personality who triumphed over the challenge of being over 90% polio affected since childhood. A moving story of resilience, hard work, and unwavering determination left the audience deeply inspired and reflective. Her journey underscored the spirit of perseverance and the importance of strong support in one's path to success. We also took this opportunity to felicitate Benaz Nanavati on her elevation as Global Youth Director. The evening concluded with a heartfelt and light-hearted vote of thanks delivered by Benaz, followed, of course, with the usual Parsi cocktails and dinner. Since this year is the year of the youth, WZCC Pune chapter organized a full-day workshop for young Zoroastrians in the age group of 16 to 37 under the tagline Empowering Minds on 29 June 2025. The workshop was structured into 5 engaging sessions, which were conducted by experts in their particular fields. The first session was conducted by Percy Sudachia on the importance of communication. This was followed by a session on marketing and branding, which was conducted by Dan Patel. One of our young Zoroastrian lawyers, just 27 years old, Kayoma Dirani, took the session on legal career path.
Hello.
Then we had an interactive session which was conducted by a past chapter chair, Maruk Barucha, and she had everyone there on their toes during her session. And the concluding session was conducted by our own chapter treasurer, Aflatun Ezediar, on the topic of financial planning. The workshop was a resounding success as we were at full capacity. In fact, about a week before the session, we had to tell people, stop, we cannot accommodate any more people because of the limitations of the hall. And the feedback which we received was extremely encouraging and positive. And looking at this response, we plan to conduct a similar follow-up workshop after 6 months. We had our youth events, the Chai with WZCC. We had 2 of those events in the past 8 months, which was conducted by Benaz. Our next event is planned on the 3rd of October, where we again have a distinguished speaker who will be joining us. And I would invite all of you to please come and be a part of that event, because I'm sure you will find it very, very interesting and entertaining. Before I conclude, I would also like to thank the press, because all our events, we have got very good coverage, and for which we are really thankful. Thank you very much. That's all from my side.
Thank you, Farooq. I next would like to call upon Mr. Cyrus Barucha from the Bangalore chapter. Unfortunately, Mr. Barucha is not here, but he'll be on link, on the Zoom link.
Good evening.
Can everybody just confirm that they can see the slide on the screen?
Yes, we can.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Cyrus.
Good evening, respected members, distinguished guests, and dear friends. It is my honor and privilege to address you all at the annual general meeting of the World WZCC Chamber of Commerce, highlighting the Bangalore chapter's annual report. The Bangalore chapter has always placed a strong emphasis on fostering entrepreneurship, supporting professional excellence, and creating opportunities for collaboration within our Zartusi community and beyond. We take pride in being a platform that not only nurtures business and professional growth, but also strengthens the bonds of our community through shared purpose and collective progress. Over the past year, our chapter has sought to engage meaningfully with members across generations, encouraging mentorship, exchange of ideas, and participation in ventures that embody the spirit of enterprise and integrity. As we look ahead, our focus will be to further enhance opportunities for our youth, build purposeful connections with the broader industry, and also leverage the strength of the global WZCC network to benefit our local community here in Bangalore. I am confident that we will continue to grow from strength to strength. I would like to thank the committee members and the members of the Bangalore chapter for their dedication, participation, and support. I will now request our Honorary Secretary, Dr. Sanaya Patel, to run you through the activities during the year gone by and highlight on the activities of the current year. Thank you. Sanaya, please.
Thank you, Cyrus. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege to share the highlights of this year and give you a glimpse of what lies ahead. Our largest and most impactful event, the WZCC Winter Bazaar 2024, brought together 500 visitors and 40 vendors. While festive in spirit, it was at its core a structured platform for entrepreneurship. Every foodpreneur sold out, and lifestyle, wellness, and artisanal stalls reported strong sales, new customers, and valuable field feedback. A key highlight was the first ever launch of Parsi Dairy Farm in Bangalore alongside RTI and WIT, which drew huge crowds and strengthened community connections. Vendor feedback has been overwhelmingly positive, with repeated requests for another bazaar, a clear reflection of the value it created. We began 2025 with a lecture by Dr. Rashna Reiter on war, justice, and peace from the Zoroastrian perspective. The session highlighted Cyrus the Great's legacy of inclusive leadership, leaving the audience with timeless insights still relevant today. We also continue our Connect over Coffee sessions, providing informal opportunities for members to network, share ideas, and collaborate. Now, looking ahead, we're excited to launch a new knowledge series, Demystifying AI. The first session will take place on Saturday, 27th September, exploring how artificial intelligence can be understood and applied by entrepreneurs and professionals. True to our mission, this series will feature Zartushti experts worldwide to help us harness AI as a driver of innovation and growth. In addition, we are planning a talk with Dr. Jahangir Kama, an alumnus of the University of Cambridge, who will share his entrepreneurial journey in biophysics and innovation, demonstrating how science and business can come together to create real impact. I urge you all to join these sessions. Finally, our much anticipated Winter Bazaar will return in a new seasonal avatar as the Spring Bazaar around Navroz in March 2026, continuing our tradition of showcasing entrepreneurs and helping them scale their ventures. We also continue to strengthen our online platform, the marketplace, through social media, ensuring maximum reach and visibility for our businesses. In conclusion, this year has been one of growth, collaboration, and community impact. Through our events and initiatives, we continue to strengthen entrepreneurship, culture, and connection. I would like to end by sincerely thanking my committee, our chapter chair, Cyrus Barucha, Shehnaz Siganporia, and our founder member, Zareen Karas, who came all the way from Australia to play a key role in organizing the Winter Bazaar. She remains deeply engaged and active in our chapter despite the distance. So thank you, everyone, and thank you, Zareen, especially. Also, a special thank you to the distinguished audience in Bombay for taking the time to listen. And that's it from the Bangalore chapter. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone from the Bangalore chapter. Moving on, I request Delavin Tarapur to please give her youth report.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I, Delavin Tarapur Mistry, the Youth Director for India region. I'm pleased to present the activity report for 2024-25. To begin with, we have had a series of Chai with WZCC events on the lines of Coffee with WZCC that we have in Mumbai. And I must say the turnout has been amazing. We've had so many youngsters coming together for chai, bun maska, biscuits, and definitely icebreakers and brainstorming sessions that have literally weaved the fabric of getting the youth together and developing a sense of soft skills. On the same lines, we've also had a WZCC Chai with youth intellectuals, where we've actually conducted reverse debates, where they had to probably talk about ideologies that they believed against. It was about, making them think on another perspective than what they actually believed in. And it developed a sense of empathy, it broadened their perspectives, and it also brought a lot of technology and ethical conversations into play. We also organized a WZC Youth Conclave in Khandala, and that was one of our very new initiatives that saw recreational activities. We also spoke on Zoroastrian values. We had a heritage visit. We also had many, many business-oriented games, which actually touched upon strategic and collaborative skill building amongst the youngsters. Of recently, we've been organizing Zoro Chit Chat online with the India youth as well as the Iranian youth. And on the same lines, we conducted one in August where we've been introducing the January event to the youth, wanting more and more participation from them. Something that Zedek already touched upon, we've also had the legal meeting. And we've also been pushing the youngsters to make most of our internship initiatives that we are offering, mentorship initiatives that we are offering. To cut a long story short, our main agenda as the youth wing has always been networking and teamwork. It has been having pride in our cultural and traditional values, and definitely building leadership and ethical leadership and moral values. In conclusion, 2024 has shown us the right platforms, not only strengthen the community's fabric, but also lay the foundation for a vibrant, united, and future-ready Zoroastrian youth network. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Delavin. You win the 3-minute award. Ladies and gentlemen, the next is Mr. Firoz Kharas, who will give a report on BAC. Gotcha.
Very good evening to our chief guest, Mr. Burgess Godrej, and to all of you here. I have been allotted 3 minutes. So within that time, I'm going to brief you on what work the BSc does and what has been the result. I'll talk about a few points on the financials also. As on date, the Business Advisory Committee has funded 20 young startups with unique or innovative ideas. Of these, the first six have fully repaid the funds. The limit on funding is rupees 25 lakhs, which has to be repaid in 36 months after a 6 months moratorium. The funds that are in the process of being returned from the 14 candidates as on date is 1 crore 24 lakhs and 59,000. The balance in our bank account as on date is 1 crore 33 lakhs 47,000. So the total comes to 2 crores 65 lakhs 82,000. And this amount has been from donors, and one of them is Godrej and Boys. The BSc works on a well-planned, documented method for funding applicants. There are 10 documents which we use. The 5 key ones are the vision, mission, and performance standards for the BSc. The second, a preliminary process that provides information on whether the candidate is worthy of funding. Third, a procedure to be followed for funding the applicants. Next, guidelines for mentoring. And the last one, guidelines for oral presentation of the business plan, which the candidates have to present to the Business Advisory Committee. The book Learning to Succeed, few copies are there, published by WZCC, is about managing a business and the preparation of a business plan, which all the applicants have to study before submitting their business plan. For the first time, we have asked startups whom we have funded to give us a short write-up on the value they have derived from the mentoring, from our mentoring, and the advice provided on management of the business. Their response has been very heartening. And it shows that the BSc is on the right path to enable entrepreneurs to succeed. I would request all of you to read this folder, which is available here on your seat or at the end of this, where the people are. So thank you very much, all of you.
Thank you, Mr. Karas. Now, our global president, Captain Percy Master, could I please request you to address the audience?
Thank you. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this event today. I see a lot of youngsters in the crowd, which is a heartening thing. And of course, we all seniors are also young at heart. So it is quite a young crowd today. Just to take you back a little bit, World Zarathustra Chamber of Commerce is the only chamber of commerce in our community. And it was established in Chicago by Rohinton Rivetna and few seniors in the year 2000 and was officially launched on 29 December 2000 at the World Zoroastrian Congress in Houston. And guess who launched it? Mr. Nadir Godrej. And so it is a very great honor to have you here, Burgess, today, because after 25 years, you are another Godrej who will be addressing us today. So welcome for the next generation, which WZC is trying to establish. And welcome to your younger brother also. Thank you. I hope both of you are members of WZCC. Thank you very much for being here. It is really, and a lot of youngsters would like to interact with you because younger people can correlate with each other quite nicely. So WZCC has, since 2022 actually, has established a strategic plan to see that the path which is ahead of us is followed by everybody. And one of the main things that we realized was to develop the literate and economic and social values of the Zoroastrian youth. Because unless you are well educated, then you will not prosper. So learning is a great experience, and we encourage it by way of scholarships and in every other way. Now, as you have seen that WZC has now established a fund for the youngsters to start their startup funds. And it's a global entity. So it is not only India-centric. Global chapters, there are 16 chapters all over the world in North America, Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand, and all the other places in the world. And we are still expanding. We want to encourage all the youth to come under one platform so that we can encourage our community to prosper. So today, if you go to see, 60% of our community members are over 60 years of age, and maybe more than 60%. So we have got a very limited young crowd, which we have to encourage to do well. And that is why we have got a lot of programs for youth. The second thing that we have realized is that we would make a special platform for youth only. And that is why we have an international youth director and a chapter region director, so that they all correlate and come on a common platform for the global youth program which we have got. And we have also recently roped in the Iranian youth who immigrated to US and studied, but were now out of the main circuit of the Zoroastrian community. So we have formed the Iranian chapter, and we are trying to encourage Iranian youth to also come into the mainstream of our community, and which is being done by way of spotlights and webinars, and a lot of learning experiences are being put forward to the youth. We have these monthly spotlights of very highly educated and successful young businessmen who are interviewed, and those are recorded and circulated to our youth. We also have a newsletter quarterly, which comes and gives a global news to all our members. So our idea is to encourage all the youth to become members of WZCC, because we realize that the future of our community is in the hands of our youngsters. So we have come out with a program where the youth from 16 to 18 are given free membership. Then 18 to 35, they are given at a very reasonable cost. And so like that, encouragement is done for the youth. We are also very keen to develop gender equality. And that is why we have got a V wing, which has all the women of our community, and they interact and they hold their webinars with female members. Then we have this, of course, as you saw that Philly Kharaz gave you a detailed resume on the entrepreneur finance program, which we have got, which we have now christened as the Minu Shroff Mutual Memorial Fund. So this is being managed by BSE, and it will be promoted in the memory of Minu Shroff, who was very keen to encourage and finance the youngsters. Now, this is also extended to North America, where it goes under the Zoroastrian Entrepreneur Development Fund. And they've got also about $1.5 million in corpus. And they are also encouraging the youngsters to take advantage of this, initiative. They get about $50,000 interest-free to be paid in the same way as Philly described. So I want to also take this opportunity to thank Philly and Adi Siganpuria for taking keen interest in this committee, because they go through all the business plan and papers and everything, and then come to the main committee, on which we also have Sam Balsara as one of the committee members. So he brings in that expertise which is required. Then we have, as I said, we have roped in Iranian youth, and they are going to take part in our convention, which is going to take place. And I will briefly tell you a few things about what we are going to do once we have completed these 25 years in the silver anniversary. So as rightly said, we have declared it as a year of the youth, and we are going to do everything for the youngsters to get the advantage and make their life and career a prosperous one. We also realized that we were trying to do everything within our WZCC arena only and not looking at outside our community. And that is why we became members of the International Chamber of Commerce, which has about 245 chambers and over 1.5 million members all over the world. And we can interact with them, we can do networking with them. So we are trying to give as much encouragement to the youth as possible. And I'm sure that all of them will take advantage of these various initiatives that we have created. Going forward for the celebrations of our silver anniversary, we are going to have a Jashan ceremony, a celebratory Jashan ceremony on 7th January 2026 at Sahir Agyari, where all those who are involved in the making and progress of WZCC will be specially invited. And the balance numbers will be thrown open to the life members of WZCC, because Sahir Agyari has a very limited capacity, I think 250 or so. So that is one event which is going to be the highlight. And then we have got a convention starting from 8th to 10th of January at Taj President, which will be having our AGM, global AGM, followed by speakers, panel discussions. And one of the interesting panel discussions we are going to have is for the future of our community and how we should develop it in the years to come, where all the highly motivated people will be allowed to speak and give their opinion. And it will be also thrown to the audience to interact with the panel and give their ideas what we should do to encourage our youth. So in the end, it is only, yes, also we have a Tiger's Den, which is going to be held during this period, where equity participation of business entrepreneurs will be done, where equity participation of more than 25 lakhs can be done. And there, I think in the last 1 or 2 Tigers Den, people have invested over 1 crore of rupees in one of the businesses that they encourage to do. So these are all opportunities which I think the youth must take. And in the end, I can only say that, you know, unless we are united and we work as one organization, we will not be able to succeed. We should leave aside our orthodox and liberal views and concentrate on what is good for the community. That is more important, you know. So I would like to end with just saying that you have not lived your life unless you have done something good for the community. So let us all be together and let us work for the betterment of our community so that our forefathers will at least be encouraged that our younger generation has done and taken their legacy forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Captain Percy Master, for the information on the global conclave as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the evergreen, bubbling with enthusiasm, our immediate past President, India region, Ms. Behroz Daruwala, to propose a vote of thanks.
Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, honored guests and esteemed members of the World Zarathustri Chamber of Commerce. My voice is loud enough. Gratefulness is a sign of noble souls. That's what they say. And our community is considered noble ever since its inception. WZCC is not an exception to that. And believe me, please bear with me just for a few more minutes. As we conclude this annual general meeting, I'd like to take a moment to express heartfelt thanks and gratitude on behalf of WZCC organization to the board of directors, to the chapter chairs, to the region chairs, committee members, and volunteers for working tirelessly all throughout the year to make this organization a success. Your dedication, hard work, selflessness has been the driving force behind our growth and achievements. We are grateful for your commitment to WZCC mission and all its endeavors. I'd also like to thank the press, Jame Jamshed, Pasiana, Pasi Times, who've been very generous in their support throughout the year to us. You all stood by us like a rock, and I truly want to thank you. Thank you, both ladies who are here present today. I'd also like to extend our sincere, believe me, sincere thanks and appreciations to our generous donors and sponsors who have supported us over all these years. Your contribution has enabled us to make meaningful impact on the lives of professionals and entrepreneurs of our community. Believe me, we are very honored by your trust, and it is on the strength of your support that WZCC has taken bold steps to grow and invest in new projects to support our youth and our community. So thank you all so much. I also want to make a special mention of our central office, the WZCC CAO as it is called, especially our CEO, Mr. Aspiatia. He's just undergone an open heart surgery and is unable to attend. But believe me, he's still with us from his home, calling us all the time. I believe when Aspi went through his open heart surgery last week, his surgeon found some imprints of WZCC on his heart. That itself speaks for his commitment. I also want to thank Hormas, who joined us just recently, but has been managing to uphold the office and all the craziness that's been going on. And our very old and own Zareen Khan, who retired from WZCC years ago, but still calls up whenever she is in Bombay, half the time she's in Australia, and calls us and helps us and runs to us for every SOS that we give out. That's not enough. I want to place on record WZCC's sincere thanks to Mr. Shrikant and the whole IT team of Percy Masters' office. If it hadn't been for them, we'd be nowhere. You saw what happens to IT. We didn't have Wi-Fi today. Things like that happen all the time in our office, a small office with 2-3 people. And it's our SOS calls that are handled very well by Percy's office. Thank you, Percy, for allowing us to do that. Friends, as we look into the future, WZCC recognizes that our work is far, far from over. So we kindly request you for your continued support and generosity to help us reach our goals. Your donations, your sponsorship, your time, your energy, and above all, your commitment to WZCC will enable us to continue all our initiatives and make a lasting impact on the lives of our community's professionals and entrepreneurs, especially the next generation. Remember, we have too many social and charitable organizations in our community, but we have one and only one global World Zarathustra Chamber of Commerce. So if we want our community to flourish professionally and in business, it is this organization that the community looks to, and we feel duty bound to respond. So we do need your support and respect. As Ellen Keller said, alone we can do very little, but together we can do much. And believe me, friends, WZCC still has a lot and much to achieve. So thank you all once again, and may Ahura Mazda bless our community to flourish in years ahead, ethically and in unity. Thank you all.
Thank you, Bearers. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the formal AGM for the India region, which was the first part of the program. Moving on to the second part, I hand over to Ms. Delavin Tarapur.
Thank you, Mr. Batliwala. You've been a wonderful audience, and that takes me forward to the second and the most integral part of our evening. I am very privileged and happy to announce that with us today we have our chief guest, Mr. Burgess Nadir Godrej. I'm proud to introduce him. Mr. Burgess Godrej represents the next generation of Godrej legacy with a strong vision for innovation, growth, and leadership in the agri-business and life sciences sectors. Recently appointed as the Managing Director of Aztec Life Sciences, he has taken on this leadership role with a commitment to driving growth and strengthening the company's performance. As an alumnus of Harvard Business School, Burgess brings global business acumen and deep expertise in strategy, innovation, and sustainable practices. His academic journey began at Stanford University, where he earned the BS/MS in Earth Systems, focusing on agriculture, ecology, and environmental sectors. He also attended the Stanford Graduate School of Business, further sharpening his leadership skills. Burgess joined Godrej Agrovet Limited in 2017 and has since held key roles across strategy, innovation, and sustainable practices in agribusinesses. With certifications from Wharton, Cornell, and ACE Stotts Investment Research, Burgess has consistently invested in advancing his leadership and entrepreneurial skills. Known for his hands-on approach, Burgess aims to position Aztec Life Sciences as future-ready company by building resilience, fostering innovation, and ensuring a long-term value creation. Thank you for being with us today, Burgess. The floor is all yours.
Absolutely. Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Delavin, for that very kind introduction. It's really a privilege to be invited here as the chief guest of the WZCC India AGM. I'd like to acknowledge the excellent work that WZCC has done over the years. And I've seen that firsthand. I attended the 2016 Hong Kong meet, and I joined the youth wing the year after. I could not attend the Shark Tank, or as you like to call it, Tiger's Den events, but my brother and father particularly enjoyed that event in Lonavala 5 years ago. And my brother Hormuz, who is here, attended the London event that he really enjoyed and benefited a lot from. WZCC has created forums for upcoming entrepreneurs to get mentorship and guidance from community stalwarts, as well as meet like-minded Zoroastrians from around the world. So that's really a terrific initiative. And I'd just like to say that it's so important that we continue the Zoroastrian legacy of creating wealth for society, while at the same time keeping in mind the needs of people and the planet. Unlike certain other religious traditions, Zoroastrianism has never frowned upon becoming wealthy. However, Zoroastrianism has always preached that with great power comes great responsibility. The best way to become wealthy is through keeping the needs of society in mind and following ethical principles. Once one is wealthy, one can only become an ashavan through bringing happiness to others. We have always emphasized charity, keeping the needs of the poor in mind, and taking good care of the natural world, with our emphasis on the Amesha Spentas and Yazatas like Baman Yazad and Spenta Armeti. Parsis are an excellent example of putting these strong Zoroastrian values into practice. We played a huge role in creating the building blocks of modern-day India, be it ships, textiles, steel, and hospitality. Tatas, Wadias, and many others build businesses and use the proceeds to give generously to charity. In many people's minds, Godrej means the locks on their doors and their Mamaji's 100-year-old indestructible Almira. But did you know that Godrej also made the ballot boxes for India's first election? This was a great example of them serving the nation in whatever way we could. I'll tell you about the story of how Godrej began, and it's a story of the importance of three key values in business and in life: trust, respect, and humility. Ardeshir Godrej, the founder, was a young lawyer who was practicing on the island of Zanzibar in Africa, what is now present-day Tanzania. He had left India, and one day he realized that he had to defend a client who he believed was guilty. So he actually abandoned the profession and decided to do another vocation. He had the chance to meet Mahatma Gandhi, and he expressed deep skepticism about Gandhiji's vision for an independent India, saying, "This country has no manufacturing, this country has no economy. How will it be independent from the British?" The story goes that Mahatma Gandhi responded with a simple, "Khari vaat chhe, pan tame su karo ch?" He took his advice and was inspired to become an entrepreneur who focused on Atmanirbharta, self-reliance, and Make in India before these became the buzzwords that they are today. He taught himself how to be an inventor, and he started a surgical instruments company. However, his insistence on writing "Made in India" on the instruments was his undoing, as doctors were reluctant to buy local products, and he barely made any sales. Despite many people telling him, "Scrap the label, write "Made in the UK," he refused. Thankfully, he later came up with many effective products that he could label as "Made in India" and that he could sell successfully. He produced outstanding safes, locks, and cupboards that had a reputation for being unbreakable, and even withstood the terrible fire of the Musgao docks. Godrej began to stand for trust. A unique invention suited to India was the first ever soap made from vegetable oil, which replaced the need for soaps made from animal fats, such as tallow. So this humanely met the needs of India, particularly for vegetarians. This showed Godrej's ability to respect Indian values. Ardeshir also lived with humility, and he never let success get to his head. Even as his business grew and flourished, Ardeshir lived simply for most of his life. In the book Vijitatma, Victorious Soul, journalist and author B.K. Karanjia mentions how he insisted on using public transport, and the sight of him patiently waiting at bus stops, engrossed in reading a newspaper or a book, created a lot of talk in the community. His younger brother, Pirosha, my great-grandfather, took the legacy further through buying land in Vikhroli in the 1940s. Everyone thought he was crazy to buy land so far away from South Bombay, but he had the foresight to see that the city would expand and that it was a great place for building a manufacturing township. The idea of not just factories, but residential spaces for workers came after he saw how badly so many laborers lived. He also preserved 2,500 acres of mangrove land. For perspective, that is 3 times the size of New York Central Park, around Vikhroli, rather than cutting it down. That was later put into a charitable trust by his son Sorabji so that it could be preserved and not commercially developed by anyone. This green legacy continues to this day and in many other ways. Godrej has played a leading role in organizations like the World Wildlife Fund, the World Business Council for Sustainable Development, the COP summits, and the New York Climate Week that, interestingly, my father is attending right now. 70% of Godrej Industries' energy comes from renewable sources, and we have a 16 times water positivity ratio due to our CSR that supports watershed development and water conservation. We pioneered a powder soap that the user has to mix with water so that we can reduce water transportation and the emissions and costs that it causes. And we have a no red label policy, red label being the most dangerous category of agrochemicals for the agrochemicals that we sell to farmers. What also greatly inspires our family about Ardeshir and Pirosha are the tragic setbacks that they encountered in their journeys to building the business, but how they had the incredible resilience to power through and overcome those setbacks. Apart from the failure that Ardeshir experienced in his surgical instruments venture, he also had to deal with great personal tragedy. He lost his young wife Bachubai after she jumped off the Rajabai Tower with a friend after being pursued by a stalker. He did not remarry. Pirosha also lost his wife Sunabai during the Spanish flu of 1920 and similarly did not remarry while bringing up 4 young children. Godrej is a company that was started in 1897. I am incredibly proud to be a 4th generation member of this company, and I especially love the fact that we call ourselves 128 years young instead of 128 years old. As we say in Gujarati, picture ajur baki che, and we can't rest on our laurels. We have to think about the future. This mindset is especially important for legacy companies as we need to look towards a rapidly changing future, both in India and abroad. One should always look forward to the future while preserving the values and lessons of the past. While the core values of trust, humility, and respect that were so evident in Ardesha and Pirosha's lives are always important and will continue to remain so, we as a group also realize that we need to add values to make us more relevant in the current day scenario that is so different from what made us successful earlier. We now face a very different India from what we started off with. An India where people can order or invest in whatever they want within minutes just by clicking a few buttons and scanning QR codes. An India with over 1 billion prospective customers that have greater choices of what they will buy. An India that is opening up to the world with free trade agreements. An India where services now contribute over 50% of our GDP, but manufacturing remains stuck at 15%. An India that has one single tax code around the country. An India where you have aspirational young people who don't judge others by their last names, but instead ask, who are you and what have you done? An India where massive skyscrapers and huge slums coexist within a few feet of each other. One can always debate the merit, one can always debate the wisdom of these transformations, but they are a fact of everyday life and we all have to adjust to them. That is why we at Godrej still emphasize our founding values, but we have decided to balance this out with 3 values much needed for a modern and very competitive environment. Owning it, being bold, and creating delight. There is a delightful Sanskrit word called Antevasin, which means a boundary dweller, and we use it to emphasize someone with 1 foot in the past and 1 in the future. We aspire to be an Antevasin, and I think all people should, grounded in tradition, heritage, and legacy, but always open to new technologies, new industries, and new approaches. As the noted cultural commentator Santosh Desai has said, India's strength is that people are able to accept change because we somehow always find a way to package that change in a way that accompanies our traditions and respects people's sensibilities. Our democratic society prevents any rapid societal change, as the impact of such changes on people's voting choices and the huge number of interest groups that we have play a major role in political choices. While this does hinder societal progress and rapid transformative reforms, it does ensure some level of societal equity and an adjustment to people that is seen as gradual and non-threatening. Across all our businesses, we are keen to capitalize on 3 key trends that we see in India of the future. The first is going beyond our core strength of Atmanirbharta, self-reliance, to do more export promotion so that India can become an alternative to China, a China +1. We are actively seeking to make in India for the world. In the past, India shielded its economy through trade barriers, and companies could do extremely well serving the large domestic market. So frankly, Indian companies lack the will and the competitiveness to serve the world. That is slowly changing, but much more needs to be done. Our group has several strengths in chemicals and consumer products, so we are eager to do this for these fields. The division of Godrej that I focus on, Aztec Life Sciences, is globally competitive in many agrochemicals, and we are expanding into pharmaceuticals and specialty chemicals as well. However, we face very stiff competition from China due to their many technological advantages, as well as their export promotion schemes and their lower utility costs. Thankfully, our government is very focused on this issue and is working hard to make India's manufacturing more globally competitive. The very impressive success of iPhone manufacturing in India is most heartening and can be an example for other industries. The second, India's inherent strength and comparative advantage in services and simplifying technologies, like how we rolled out UPI for the masses. The lower regulation in services compared to manufacturing makes these industries easier to execute and have much higher growth rates. Financial services and real estate investments are two newer divisions that we have started so that we can capitalize on these trends and become more diversified. The success of UPI inspires us to take digital technology to farmers so that we can improve their yields and livelihoods while enhancing our agricultural businesses. And the third point is that India is finally realizing the need to invest in R&D and is overcoming its reluctance to invest in R&D. You will see that India currently only invests 0.4% of our GDP on R&D, which is much less than China at 2%, the US at 3%, and South Korea at 4%. You can see why they have more global technology companies like BYD, Apple, and Samsung, unlike India. The private sector is especially low in its R&D investment compared to other countries, leading Indian companies to only be able to make minor process improvements and make off-patent molecules in sectors like chemicals and pharmaceuticals, rather than coming up with brand new products. At Godrej, we have built many R&D centers for our various businesses, and we have set goals to innovate on new products and completely new processes. The incredible work of ISRO to land a lunar probe on the south side of the moon is a shining example of what India can do with the right R&D mindset, and we need to see many more such examples. I want to share with you a special framework that I use to check on our innovation plans. A business school classmate taught it to me, and it was widely used at Omidyar, the impact investing firm started by Pierre Omidyar, the founder of eBay. I call it VMC T cubed. So what is V? V is your value proposition. What value are you delivering to the customer to improving his or her life? M is the market size. What is the total addressable market? And can you aim for a larger market? C is competitive differentiation. What advantages do you offer over the competition? These are the most important things to keep in mind. But beyond that, you have to think about execution also. And that's where the 3 T's come in. So T is for team. How are the team members individually and collectively? The second T is for technology. What improvements can I make to my technology to give me an advantage? And the third T is traction. What is the feedback that I'm getting from testing? What is the product market fit? What are the test results for new products and the improvements to the existing product showing? Let me use that to build a better product or service. Another piece of advice for the youth that I found wise, when Sheryl Sandberg was asked if young graduates should work for big companies or small companies, she said, wrong question. Don't focus on the size. Focus on growth. Work for a growing company. Another piece of wise advice that a business school professor taught our class was that there are 3 zones in life: your professional life, your personal life, the comfort zone, the learning zone, and the panic zone. Avoid staying in the comfort zone, as it will be too boring and too easy. There is no need to be in the panic zone for all the stress and the burnout it causes, but always be in the learning zone so that you can improve and you can take pride in your growth. Finally, I want to end by saying that one should always plan for the long term in business and preserve reputation, ethics, and integrity above all else. As Warren Buffett famously said when he acquired the company Solomon Brothers, he addressed the management and he told them very bluntly and frankly, lose money for the firm and I will be understanding. But if you lose reputation for the firm, I will be ruthless. I intend to live by those words, and I hope you find them as inspiring as I do, and that you will take them to heart and apply them to whatever you do in whatever organizations you work for. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you so much, Burgess, for the beautiful insights. Lovely about the history of Godrej, about what you have in store in the future, and about insights as a youth. I think you are the most exemplary chief guest we could have had, knowing that the future holds for the youth and what WZCC wants to do for the youth. So thank you so much. With that, may I please request our immediate past president, Ms. Behroz Daruwala, and our current president of India region, Zarek Dastoor, to felicitate our chief guest, Burgess Nadir Godrej. Thank you so much, Ms. Daruwala and Mr. Dastoor. Moving forward, WZCC annually recognizes and applauds achievements in various sectors and industries and the amount of contribution that Zarthustis have done over the years. May I request our Global Youth Director, Ms. Benaz Nanavati, to kindly announce the honors.
Ladies and gentlemen, how I wish I could just say Jamma Chalo Ji right now. But this is an equally important and encouraging part of our program. A true motivation for everyone here, not only the ones present here, but more importantly, their kids and grandkids. Make them members. Trust me, they will benefit much more than you currently do. These awards were first announced at the WZCC Global Convention in Toronto. Since the awardees were unable to attend then, WZCC takes this opportunity to present them here today. May I now invite our chief guest, Mr. Burgess Godrej, and our global president, Mr. Percy Master, to join us here to present the awards. Our first awardee is the fourth generation leader of Gina and Company, a 119-year-old logistics giant that set a benchmark under his leadership. The Outstanding Entrepreneur of the Year award goes to none other than Mr. Cyrus Katkara. Mr. Cyrus, you're welcome to say a few words, or we could also let your legacy speak for you.
Well, let me say one thing. We are not 119 years, but now this is our 125th year. So I'm so happy to get an award on our 125th year. Thank you very much, WZCC, for choosing this year, which means really special to us. Percy, the way you said something ex-tempo was amazing. Burgess, what a 360 view you gave. Your business, India, really compliments to you. I have just to say thank you, and that too I've written it down. So I really admire the way you guys say so much ex-tempo. I'm staying in Delhi, and a little different from Mumbai. Mumbai is so cosmopolitan, and Delhi, very often I get this question, Parsi, like what are you guys? The only example they understand is when I say, do you know Godrej or do you know Tatas? Ah, acha, acha. Then everybody's every. Okay. So that's my passport to introduction of Parsis to the Delhi people. I just want to say I want to say something which I'm deeply grateful to WZCC for the Entrepreneurial Award of the Year. Coincidentally, yes, I did mention it comes with the 125 years. Gina has been celebrating. Today we are also a very decent size. When I say Godrej, I feel bad, we're a decent size company. We have 2,250 employees, 27 branches, more than 100 locations in India. And Percy Master, we also admire you for the business that we are almost together, which we do it. This recognition is not only for me, but it goes for our team. It goes for my partners and my partner wife also, okay. And every part of this journey. My brother Sam, would you like to come? Sam and come. Because Sam has been my lifelong partner, his wife Kamal, Farida, and my two very good friends standing there, Mr. Arin Malia and Jehan bhai. Thank you so very much for everything. Oh, you said 2 minutes. I hope I've not crossed that. Bye-bye and thanks a lot.
Thank you. Our next awardee is India's most celebrated architect. Behind landmarks like the Imperial Towers, D.Y. Patil Stadium, and the upcoming Bombay High Court project at BKC, the Outstanding Professional of the Year award goes to none other than Mr. Hafiz Contractor. Since he is unable to join us today, may I invite Ms. Dilshad Kotwal to kindly accept the award on his behalf.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you for this award for Mr. Contractor. He's a very humble human being, and I've worked with him. I'm Dilshad. I've worked with him for like over 10 years now, and it's an absolute amazing experience. Every day, new learning. I thought I would not last there for a year or two, and I'm there since 10 years now. Mr. Contractor could not be here today because the Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, is actually visiting our site today. So he had to urgently rush there. It's the largest national maritime heritage complex coming up in Lothal, Gujarat. It was the first dockyard in the world, the place Lothal, which you all may or may not know. But this huge complex is going to come there, and fingers crossed, it's going very successful. So thank you very much, and apologies for sir not being here. Thank you.
Thank you. Our final awardee is a history maker, the first woman in India to win the National Salon Car Championship, inspiring countless others and women like me to chase their dreams. The Outstanding Youth of the Year award goes to Ms. Diana Pandol. Diana, thank you for gracing us with your presence. I am definitely someone who looks up to you. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me once again in congratulating all our awardees. Their journeys are truly inspiring and their achievements make us proud. We look forward to many more successes to celebrate and their stories in our community. Thank you.
I think I'll talk from here. I think I'm visible from here despite my height. All right. Okay. Congratulations to all the awardees and thank you, Benas. In keeping with the awards, I would also like to call upon Mr. Adi Siganporia to introduce Mr. Sam Choksi of Kama Trust, who have been supporting WZCC in our various initiatives towards education and entrepreneurship.
Dear friends, as we all know, in this world, there are many people who talk more and work less. But at the same time, very few individuals who work more and talk less. And since WZCC has been having a forward march over the last 20 years, we have been fortunate in getting help from various institutions, individuals, etc. The major part being coming from Mr. Godrej. And we are indeed grateful that a young Mr. Godrej is here and our community is absolutely in safe hands, as you must have seen from his talk. We have today the presence of a very unassuming individual who believes in modesty. He doesn't believe in publicity, but he quietly does his work. And I am talking of none other than Mr. Sam Choksi. After retiring from his family business, he has devoted his time, energy, and resources for the benefit of the humanity in general, and that too in two crucial sectors, which is education and health. He is the managing trustee of Kama Convalescent Home and also senior most trustee of the Bandra Parsi Convalescent Home. And under his leadership, a staggering sum of 12 crores were disbursed during just 1 year, 24-25. I think this is a great achievement. He is also the president of Bandra Parsi Association and has served this institution for a long period of 50 years, 50, which is great. He is also the president of Iran League, trustee of the Lonavala Khandala Parsi Zoroastrian Anjuman. Friends, WZCC is extremely happy to have members like Mr. Sam Choksi, and therefore it will be appropriate that we honor him, we felicitate him with real good wishes. Mr. Choksi, we hope and we pray that you enjoy good health along with your family members and continue to have infinite sense of happiness all along. God bless you.
This brings us to the end of our AGM. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. You've been a great audience. You are now free to have your lovely evening with cocktails and dinner. Thank you so much. I, Delavin Tarapur, Youth Director, India Region, signing off. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.